All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Dockside at the Bay. As always, I am Vinny along with Kim, and we are here for you on Christmas Day, hence the Santa hat.
I was looking for the reindeer ears and could not locate them, unfortunately. I don't know, pretend. There we go.
it works either way. But folks, I do want us to go ahead and acknowledge that we're recording this on December, what day is it? December 17th.
Yes.
It will be airing on Christmas Day. The episode that you saw on December 18th was recorded previously. So with that said, we did want to acknowledge the passing of daytime icon Anthony Geary, who played Luke Spencer on General Hospital on December 14th. He died from complications of surgery that he had just had, and sad, the daytime world was rocked.
Yep. I was, even not being a General Hospital diehard, my mother she was a General Hospital diehard, scheduled her college classes around it. And when she found out the news, she said, 30 million people watched that man's character get married.
Yeah, exactly. And that will never happen again. Obviously, there's not going to be ever that high of a rating, let alone that many people watching stuff at the same time. Because you got to remember, back then it was, there was no DVR. I don't even think there were VCRs. Well, maybe there were VCRs, but
a big clunky thing that you probably would, consider relic now.
Exactly. But no DVRs, no streaming, no Hulu. People tuned in at 2 p.m. or 2 or 3 p.m. whatever time frame is on.
Appointment television.
Exactly. And Judy Francis said as much, that GH was on the chopping block up until, that happened, and they brought in all the ratings. So,
just another, terrible loss for the daytime community. And General Hospitals had so many folks that have passed away, folks that we've seen on the Bay too, that it stings every time, because these are legends. So
it's been a rough year for those of us that have grown up in the 80s and, fell in love with these people. It's been a rough year for icons of the 80s from everywhere, starting with, even if you want to just go in the soap world, we had Leslie Charleston, we had, Tristan Rogers, there were so many other, Ozzy Osbourne, Malcolm Jamal Warner, and Hulk Hogan in the same week. Just amazing. But our hearts, our prayers, our thoughts, our love, and condolences go out to, Anthony Geary's husband, as well as all of the family, friends, and fans around the world. We did want to acknowledge that at the top of the episode.
And also, you just said All in the Family. And I noticed, I did see, apparently Anthony Geary was on an episode of All in the Family.
Yes.
Appeared alongside Rob Reiner, who passed away tragically the same day. But I saw that and I was just like, wow, crossover. Just that was crazy to see that. I had no idea that they'd appeared on an episode of television together.
Yeah.
It just, it was terrible, loss for, creatives and, those types that just, put all the work out there and put all the effort out there. Very talented, very, creative gentlemen who are no longer with us. And it just shows we got to appreciate the soaps while we can, and appreciate the while we have. I'm so loved.
But I mean, it was a heartbreaking weekend all over the place from, and these are just the high profile deaths that we heard of. And Rob Reiner's death was tragic. It was just absolutely horrifying. But even besides that, there were 2 mass shootings, one at a college in Rhode Island, Brown University, one on a beach in Australia. Just absolutely devastating weekend. Right before
those things that makes you just want to hold your loved ones a little closer, especially knowing it's going into the holidays. just remember, you've got people around that love you and need you, and just try and get through with people that care and love and want to be around you, and that's all you can really do.
Yes, you are exactly right. Well, folks, first of all, I want to go ahead and say thank you to all of the subscribers out there that are truly supporting our show. We do have some great thoughts and stuff going into the 2026 year. A lot of new content coming down the pike. We're also going to be doing some promotions and giveaways and a lot of stuff. So stay tuned. Definitely, if you're not subscribed yet, go over to suds-media.com. That brings you to our YouTube channel. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bells because we're going to be bringing you a ton more stuff coming up in the new year.
Yes.
Also, I do want to mention, as it is Christmas time, you're much too late for Christmas delivery considering today is Christmas Day, but you can go ahead and buy a belated Christmas gift or a Kwanzaa gift or a Hanukkah gift or a birthday gift for a loved one. Go over to our merch shop, merch.suds-media.com, whether it's t-shirts or hats or bandanas or sweaters or aprons, bags, and so much stuff up there, as well as our cute little cuddle buddies. Not
to mention the dog bandanas.
Yes.
They were, the dogs in my life were very happy to see those as some stocking stuffers. So
yes, and definitely mine too. And remember, if you do order a doggy bandana or a doggy cuddle buddy, those proceeds are going to go to Samantha's friends. So with that said, go ahead and make not only a dog's life happy, but also we could Samantha's friends helps those that are of course I lost my train of thought as I was doing it.
Support dog,
yes.
Dog that offer support for veterans, for
dog, there we go.
Military, we're helping the greats out there by helping out Samantha's friends. So
exactly, yes, the service animals to be trained and rehomed for veterans and first responders. Thank you for picking me up on that. Okay. All right. With that said, I do want to go ahead and thank everybody for tuning in to Suds News because that's always our highest rated show. But as you saw last Monday, we did have the nostalgia look back at the life and times of Anthony Geary. And then this past Monday, we did talk more about General Hospital as we led into Christmas. Okay, so now we're going to go into the Bay as we're on season 7, episode number 6, I believe.
Yes.
No, or is it 7?
I think it's 6.
Yes, episode 6, the proposal.
Yes.
The next episode is episode 7. So
yeah, and this episode, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's the only one that's really been focused on just 2 characters. I don't think we've seen this before, where it's just exclusively been like an episode that's like really devoted to just showing just 2 characters interacting pretty much the entire time and not branching out to other storylines or other families.
I agree, unless you want to consider, some of the flashback episodes and stuff, but no.
That's true. Yeah, that's, but just in terms of, it definitely, it felt like a bit of a departure.
Yeah.
But we needed to kind of see it, and it definitely, it advanced the plot, obviously, and it was, there for a purpose, but it just had a different flavor and a different tone just because it was, it was Vivian and it was our crazy villain, Adam, just with their interactions. And I was just trying to think if there was other previous instances where we had just 2 characters that were really just in these, locked into this episode and just focusing on just 2, but I couldn't think of any. So
no, you're absolutely right. And it was just at the very, very beginning of the episode, you do see Belinda, Dr. Belinda Kenway, and Silver.
Yes.
But outside of that, it's just Adam and Vivian. Just the way that. All right. First off, I gotta ask you something. why does it seem that every single supervillain likes classical music?
I don't know, but it's definitely a trope that we've explored, that we've seen in previous other places. He was really getting into it though. He's jamming. This is like, it's funny because it's like you see him kind of like grooving and you expect it to be more of an but no, he is just straight out rocking into to classical music. And it's kind of fun. It's an extra kind of layer and an extra kind of quirk. But there's definitely that kind of an association. It makes him a little bit more just, I don't know, a little bit more eerie, a little bit more threatening. It's just classical music sometimes can bring like really happy upbeat, but it also have like kind of a sinister minor tone to it that's just kind of, and it worked here.
It really does. And what I've noticed, at least with Adam, is that everything that Adam does, everything that Adam says, everything that Adam is very calculated.
Yes.
Just even down to the classical music. Like classical music, they say that if you play classical music while there's a baby in the womb, they'll be smarter or something to that effect. I don't know how true that is, but it definitely shows Adam being that thinking person, that person who's just one or two steps ahead of everybody at every time.
No, definitely. He's playing chess while people around him are playing checkers.
Yeah, I mean, in this episode alone, with the conversation with Vivian, first off, he wants to keep everything a secret from Vivian. So when Belinda and Silver come in the room and Silver is carrying the dress and she's like, well, you need to look good for your big day. And Belinda's like, Silver.
Yeah. Immediately tries to, we're not going to talk about that. But even like her tone and hers, when Belinda comes in, just someone very dear to you, just the way that she talks to Vivian and just her tone in general. I mean, she just gives off just creepy. And we kind of discussed that when she made her first appearance.
Yeah.
Just that the relationship between her and Adam and whatever exactly is going on there. It just it's not good vibes. It's not. No. There's something up there.
There's something off with that whole situation. It's almost,
her interactions here, though, just kind of crystallized that. She's just very, just comes off as, she has like this kind of sickeningly sweet sort of, tone when she's talking, almost condescending. And it's just like, okay, we're in for some bad stuff here.
Absolutely. But I kind of like the contrast between Belinda and Adam, where Belinda is kind of trying to befriend Vivian a little bit by saying, I'm your doctor, you need me, you were heavily sedated so you could make the trip. Mm-hmm. And she's trying to earn Vivian's trust, although Vivian is not nowhere near at that point to trust anybody in that situation.
And she even does when Adam does come in the room, and Belinda offers or says, like, I still need to take her temperature. I'm still a doctor. I still need to make sure that she's all right. Her hormones are all over the place right now. And, you have Vivian crying that she just wants to see her baby. And then you have this doctor trying to tend to her, even though she's giving off like sinister, creepy vibes. But then you have Adam just saying, oh, no, she looks perfect.
Yeah.
And just, dismisses, he locks the door. He throws the cover away, starts talking about her golden skin. It's like he does not care about her present condition or the fact that he's all locked in, with what he's being calculating, but he's also, just dismissing, any medical treatment that she might be needing, and, just wants his perfect fantasy to play out right in front of him because he's deranged and crazy.
Oh yeah, you're exactly right. And just the way that he orders Belinda around, like just to say, okay, you leave now, and she's kind of suddenly to go, leave. Just he's fully in charge. Like I would love to know. I mean, I want to see a backstory. I want to see kind of like.
I would be curious about that too, because we did. I don't know. We did get with Pete, obviously we've seen that character, develop we've seen him develop, play out before our eyes.
Yes.
We did have flashbacks to his childhood in Bay the Beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And we had the New York centric episode. I would love to see something similar with Adam. Show like young Adam. Show like Adam, struggling. Adam, like how he got to the place where he is now, because it's still murky as all anything. Even coming when it comes to like the day that he and Pete were born.
Right.
We're still that whole situation. It's still very murky.
Yes.
And it would be really interesting to see, having already seen Christos play, young Pete and Pete, current, to current Pete, and just showing that development in that range. It would be cool to see, young Adam get the same kind of treatment.
Agreed. And that's exactly how I feel that it needs to be. But I do want to kind of switch gears a little bit. Well, I mean, there's really no switching gears because we're in the same conversation for the entire episode.
Yeah, because we have him. One note that you mentioned the classical music.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like he's enjoying himself like so much. He's got like the biggest smile when he's dancing around to the classical music and when he's talking to Vivian.
Yep.
And even when he says like, we're going to have a ceremony before sundown. Our love is authentic. He genuinely believes to a degree that like he can pull this off and live happily ever after with her.
But also the way that
part of his brain.
But also the way that he says our baby is with your ex-husband, like kind of just dismissing Pete as just a thing of the past, and the baby's there safe for now, or baby's with him for now, as long as he's not dead from the neck up.
Yeah. It's like he's calculated, but then he'll like see Vivian talk about their future, talk about what he wants to see happen. And he just gets this giddy look about him. And it's like he's like buying into like this fantasy. Almost. Oh, yeah. Just completely, dialed in there. And it's just,
right.
But even seeing just like the way Christos was playing that, just like with the genuine delight and like smile and stuff like that when he's dancing around and when he's like thinking, like, and I will say, and maybe it's just because the two actors just have so much chemistry, you can't really turn it off, but he did look at her with a lot of love in his eyes.
Well, it's either love or lust or just something where he covets. Yeah. And if you're struggling with some woman or some person that you love or want to be with, I know just who to call.
Are you having problems in the bedroom? Are you having problems with your sex life? Well, I know just who to talk to, and that's Lori. CoachingByLori.com is where you could set up voice, video, or text sessions to talk about sex, to talk about intimacy, kinks, fetishes, taboos, fantasies, or your sexuality. You could talk about coming out and what to expect when you come out. Lori is a sex therapist and talks about your sexual health. Lori's offering all new clients 20% off their first session with the coupon code WELCOME. That's Coaching by Lori, LORIE.com. Coupon code WELCOME, WELCOME, for 20% off your first session.
All right, folks. So maybe Adam just needs a sex therapist and kind of get some of
the therapy in general would not hurt this man.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's just I couldn't help but just see, when he's like really caught up in like his, the way that he was looking at Vivian even, and just being all the safest, you're going to be in the safest hands you've ever been in, and things like that. It's like you can see like he does want that, and he's just played into this fantasy in this whole thing, but then it shifts on a dime and he'll just become so sinister and calculating. And it's just like amazing watching it, like, go from one extreme to the other and him just vacillate between those two things. And it was just, kudos to Christos, because the acting in this scene, and obviously kudos to, again, Karuchi. I need to look up that pronunciation and get it, completely right. But kudos to the both of them, because just the fact that they could them carrying the entire episode just based on like interactions and just a conversation, and it's just a testament to the acting ability.
And what makes it even better is Christos is playing a completely different character than Vivian is normally used to interacting with. You know, so by I would love to interview Karuche, whatever her name is. Maybe we'll get the pronunciation correctly at some point. I would love
call her Kay for now. I'll call her Kay.
Yeah, there we go, Kay. Well, I would love to ask her just how that was. And I know as an actor, like you're used to working with different people, different characters. But when you're working with somebody who you're normally feeling one way about as, and it's like the diabolical evil twin, like we've seen in soaps before, but this takes it to a whole new level.
It's, reminiscent of when we had on Days of Our Lives, the whole Steveno arc, when Steve was possessed by Stefano and was holding Kayla hostage, and you see Steve and you think that he's there and you think that everything, and it's not actually him, he's playing the villain. And then you have it just reminiscent of that to me a little bit, because you see these two actors that have just been playing like a love story forever, and then they play like, oh, you're actually being possessed by, an evil supervillain, and now I have to hate you. And it's just, it was similar to that, kind of a soapy, tropey, twin possession, crazy villain situation. But it's just, it felt almost grounded, though, in a way. It's like, even though it's like, such a sinister, crazy plot, it's still, they were able to ground it. It didn't feel like it was just completely like over the top and ridiculous and mustache twirly and stuff like that. It just, no, it was a very interesting, episode. And I did appreciate too at the very end when they kind of had a little cosmic connection moment when, Vivian is crying and, calling out for Pete, and then he like almost, it's like he hears her, because they cut back to, they show Pete at the very end and he just is like, Vivian,
Yeah.
Again with the rope that just gets you.
And the whole reason why she's crying is because Adam produced divorce papers.
Yes.
That, to make sure that Vivian is divorced from Pete.
Right.
And we find out that Adam signed as Pete because she said, Pete never signed those. How did you get him to do that? Mm-hmm. Well, it's because I gave him a choice, either the baby or you. And
I was, guess who he chose? I was supposed to kill you.
Right.
It's like, oh, you just left it on that note, huh?
But what I really liked about it was Adam is always very calm. Like he gets upset, and we've seen we've seen the scenes with Logan and with other people where he does get upset, but he's not explosive. He very rarely raises his voice.
Yeah, it's because he's too smart for that, and he's too calculated for that, and he knows it's a waste of energy. He has no problem, telling a man, okay, I'm about to kill you, and then killing him because he's short.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't faze him to do something like that, just the violence sort of. But when it comes to, aside from when he is raging at Logan, he does kind of have that Gordon Ramsay energy.
Yeah.
He's a little bit just frustrated and yelling. So it's like sometimes when the plan is kind of going astray or something happens, you do see that temper kind of flash through. But for the most part, he's, when the plan is in place and everything's fine, you just see how cunning he is and how calculating he is.
Oh, absolutely. And when they do get that, when they do produce the papers and Vivian signs under duress and Adam puts a ring on her finger to signify that they're engaged. It's just amazing how the juxtaposition of how we see the two relationships, how we see Christos in the two relationships.
Yep.
Where with Pete and Vivian, they're all over each other. You could tell they're so in love and everything.
Yes.
And with Adam, he's just obsessed. And what makes it creepier is even the imposter Adam was obsessed with Vivian, or So it's
that carried over. for sure.
It did. It's almost like, yeah, because there was an imposter, and they acknowledged that there was an imposter of Adam. So,
Mm-hmm.
did they have like memory mapping going on? I mean, we've seen them in a hospital.
Could have been. I mean, it's interesting because with all the incarnations that we've had of Adam, it's just, that is the one kind of through line, is we've got, Vivian at the center of it, and just being able to see that kind of shake out in Adam's sort of final form.
Yes.
Like this is, it plays into the history that we've seen. It plays into the fact that, it was interesting just seeing them dial in on that particular relationship and just how twisted his obsession with her has. And, now currently, where he's at with just convinced that, oh yeah, it's our baby and we're married now. And, Pete is dead to you as he's dead to me, and all of this. And it's just, it was such an intense episode to watch. Also short. Again, it did not feel like it had the long runtime. It felt like it flew by.
Yeah.
But it was so, engrossing that, that just makes sense.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. And we just ended it there. We ended it with the cosmic connection, like you said. Vivian bursts out crying because she's not only missing Pete, but realizes now he's going to, expedite the divorce papers over to Bay City.
Yep.
Or wherever he has to go to get them done.
Well, he managed to get a hold of the newspaper without issue. So I feel like, sending documents there should be, just no issue at all.
Exactly. Well, I mean, I don't necessarily think that he has to go to Bay City. I think Puerto Rico in general could expedite it. But either way, folks, a very short episode. Again, the episode's coming in at 20-something minutes because, and even if they're longer, just the content is just quick. If you're not binging The Bay yet, you got to get started on it.
Right.
Because the shows are fantastic. They break the daytime mold. I'll put it that way.
Absolutely. While still finding, it has its place within daytime because of all the tropes that we mentioned, but it still finds its way to just be creative and inventive and do new things that we aren't seeing on current, in current daytime, the standard soap. So, yeah, no excuses. Go and find it, binge it, enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, enjoy it. That's the key. Folks, we are out of time. I know it's Christmas Day, so if you took the time to listen, to watch, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank
the
you.
RSS feed will be dropping within the next hour. But I do want to hope that everybody enjoys their Christmas with their family. Have the roast beast, carve it up, open the gifts. If you're celebrating Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or any other holiday, happy holidays to you. But today being Christmas Day, I'm going to say Merry Christmas to all of you celebrating as well. But we are out of time because it was a short episode. There's no point in hashing it over again. Kim, where can everybody find you?
So I am Misfit8690 on Twitter, and I am a Little Misfit52 on Instagram and YouTube. And feel free to follow me there. Check out my page to chat soaps or whatever strikes your fancy.
All right, fantastic. As always, you can find me on Twitter and Facebook at Vinny Suds. Suds Media, at Suds Media is the network Twitter page. I'm mostly on there. I don't always switch back and forth. Instagram and Threads is at Suds and Squared Circle. Let's see. TikTok at Suds_media. I've been doing a lot more TikToks lately. Some stuff is watch our social media because there's sometimes where I'm going to do TikTok exclusives.
Mm-hmm.
I did an exclusive a couple weeks ago on Sunday the 15th when I went ahead and did an entire TikTok exclusive live regarding the retirement of John Cena and the backlash and reaction to it. So again, at Suds_media for our TikTok, but as always, go to suds-media.com, which brings you to our YouTube channel. Buy our merch, support our sponsors, and we do have the super chats available. So if you're liking the show and want to support our network, Right below us, that box with a $sign in it gives you the option to support us with a super chat or a super thanks or a super sticker. Go ahead and utilize those to help support us to bring you fantastic podcasts over the next 100 years, we'll say.
Yes.
All right. So for Tim, I'm Vinny. We will see you next year as we sit Dockside at the Bay. Have a great night, everybody.
Take care, everyone.